So good afternoon, Rachel, on this beautiful sunny day. Tell me a little about you and your business.
So my name's Rachel Murray. I'm running Paint by Rach. So basically I'm a freelance paint sprayer. So to be fair, it covers basically painting anything that sits still long enough for me to get a coat of paint on it. So in 2016, I passed my driving test on the 12th of January. And on the 8th of February, I crashed my dad's car into, I can't even remember, it was awful anyway. And he basically said, look, we may learn how to fix it. So I ended up doing my work experience in the body shop that fixed it, which the first time I had a paint gun in my hand was the 24th of March 2016. And from then onwards, I ended up in Chartershurst Stack Repair Centre, where I served my time as a paint sprayer. And then at the end of 2018, I took the step to go out freelance on my own. And basically since there, I haven't looked back. You know, I've been to Italy to paint super yachts. I've been to Slovenia to do like technical demonstration and speak at a global summit. I've been to Monaco to speak at a global summit, and I've been all across the UK doing different like trade shows and events and careers talks and stuff. So it's been an absolute roller coaster.
Brilliant. Some fascinating places. I wonder, whenever you first picked up a paint gun, did you think that that's where you'd end up in Monaco speaking to people about it?
Never, honestly. Like I had to take a wee step back recently and kind of go, you know, 17-year-old Rachel would have been looking at 24-year-old Rachel now going, that's amazing. Like I can't believe that's what you're doing. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, listen, well done. It's a great journey so far. So look, Rachel, what would you say have been your biggest learnings in business and in life?
Probably that it's not personal, it's business. At the very start, you know, if a client didn't want to work with me, I took it really, really personally, and it'd have been like, what's wrong with me? Like, what have I done? Like, am I not good enough to get this contract? And it literally doesn't come down to that. You know, 9 times out of 10, it's because they found somebody cheaper. And 9 times out of 10, then they end up coming back to you anyway because they need to get it done properly. And I think that's the biggest learning. It's still something that I'm working on. You know, still sometimes you do kind of take a step back and go, wait, have I done something wrong? But you need to take a real look at yourself and go, look, it's not me. If somebody doesn't want to work with me, they're not my customer. And it's as simple as that. Yeah.
And so who would you say has been the best coach you've ever had?
I've been very lucky in the sense that I've had quite a few. The guy that I first ever worked for whenever I crashed my dad's car, the one that fixed the car, he was totally invaluable of teaching me life lessons. He was almost like an adopted granda, he used to call himself for me. And honestly, he taught me so much. And then one of the guys that I work with now, Johnny, he was my first contract whenever I went self-employed. And honestly, he just taught me everything again. You know, whenever I started there, I thought I was really, really good. You know, I was 18, 19. I was full of confidence. I thought I was the best painter on the planet. And honestly, I wasn't. And it took him to turn around, and he was the first person to actually tell me, no, you're not. You know, you're not as good as you think you are. But then instead of just put me down, he taught me how to be as good as I thought I was. And that's what I needed at that age. I probably hated him at the time, but looking back on it, definitely it was what I needed.
Very good, very good. And do you have any favorite quotes or sayings?
Not really. I live by the whole, it is what it is. You know, a lot of, like with my job, a lot of things can go wrong. You can do everything by the book and do it perfectly and it still goes wrong. And you just have to go, look, it is what it is. There's no point in getting annoyed about it. Just let's get on with it. Let's get it fixed.
And what have you learned about yourself along your business journey?
Definitely that I'm stronger than I thought I was. You know, if you had said to me like that I'd be like the likes of speaking on stage at Monaco, like I hated public speaking growing up. I hated being in groups. I hated anything to do with me being center of attention. And I took it upon myself in 2018 to try and step out of my comfort zone every day. So I would do things that I would be scared of doing. Like, I don't really like doing phone calls. So I would make myself like phone for parts, or, you know, anybody needed to phone a Chinese, I was like, I'll do it because I don't like doing it. So I started doing stuff like that. And from then, now I got 4 or 5 days notice to go to Monaco, and it didn't even bother me. And I was on stage the week before, talking in the NEC in Birmingham. So like, it's just crazy to look back on it. Like, if I was 17 again, looking at myself now, I wouldn't even believe it's the same person.
And what would you say, what's the biggest challenge that you're currently facing in your business?
Well, the industry itself, so the automotive industry has this massive skills gap at the minute. So there isn't really anybody between me and like people in their 40s and 50s, and there's not an awful lot of people coming through the doors to come in. So what I'm doing at the minute is trying to promote the industry in a better light. So by doing that, you know, we can try and break down the stigma of it being a dirty job, a dead end job. You know, once you start doing it, once you work on cars, you know, you're never going to do anything else. And it's literally not, you know, you can do literally whatever you want to. So my big thing at the minute, and it's probably the hardest thing I've ever done, is trying to get kids inspired and interested and wanting to do things that they want to do, instead of going, you know, being forced down, because I was nearly forced down the route of going into uni. I was always told, like, you know, in school and by my teachers and stuff, that, you know, the industry was sort of a dead end job. You don't want to be working on cars, you know, it's a boy's job. It's not something that, you know, you want to be doing. And now look at me. You know, I love my job. So I think promoting that and getting kids that would maybe have lost out on their like dream job to be able to do what they want.
And what would you say to anyone thinking of going into business?
Probably just, you know, prepare yourself for it, because it's hard. Like, there's been so many times that I've wanted to just throw it and go, I'm gonna go and work in Tesco's or something. Like, I can't do it anymore. But as long as it's something that you have real passion about, you'll always get back up. And that's what I've found. Like, there has been days where I just go, I'd rather just be employed. I don't want to run a business anymore. You know, you've got clients phoning you at stupid o'clock at night. But because it's something that I'm really passionate about and I really, really love my job, then I kind of scrape myself back up and go, right, come on, there's a bigger picture here. You know, there's something to do. And I think going into something for the sake of money isn't the best idea. It needs to be something that you have real passion and real love for, or else you'll not be able to do it, because it is difficult. Like, there's no getting away from that.
And if you could start it again, Rachel, if you could start your business again, is there anything that you would do differently?
I'd take it more seriously from the start. So I kind of just referred to myself as a self-employed contractor for a long time, for about 2 years, the first 2 years, and I didn't really value myself. So I was going in and I was under quoting for jobs, and I wasn't really getting paid all that much money. I couldn't even afford my own car at the start, and all because it was my own fault. You know, it wasn't anybody else. It was just, you know, I priced in far too low because I didn't think I had the skill behind me. Whereas it's only really been the past year or so that I've really took a step back and gone, you know what, this is a business and I'm going to make it work. And I think if I had done that from the start, I'd be leaps and bounds ahead of where I am now. But then, you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing. You know, you can't change anything now. But yeah, that'll probably be it.
Okay. And if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, or they potentially had some work that wanted to put your way, you know, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Any sort of social media. So I'm on everything. I'm Paint by Rach on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Rachel Murray on LinkedIn. I have a website coming up and I have YouTube coming up. So literally, if you type in Paint by Rach into anything, you'll find me.
Fantastic. That's great. Well, look, Rachel Murray, it's been really cool hearing about your story and your business. So listen, thanks very much for your time today.
No problem. Thank you.
And interview ending now.